To get somebody else to guide you is such an inspiration, to let people understand that they can do that too if they don't know where to go, or changing their, ways of doing one thing and wanting to pivot. It's okay to think about getting help and getting somebody that is a professional at that, like a business coach. Hi, everybody. Ageless Ambitions on luxemediastudios. I am so excited for my next guest because she is just all out there, entrepreneur, doing her thing with fitness. And I just can't wait to introduce you to Ayesha Goodall. There she is, babe. Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
The first thing that I got to ask is, you put yourself as a fitness visionary.
Yes.
Right. And you do yoga and all that. But what is that? A fitness?
Well, fitness visionary is what I do is I create the vision for my high performing women, moms in particular, 45 and over, who actually say they don't have time. So it's mind-body connectivity to fitness and nutrition, taking a mindful approach to fitness. So instead of just saying I'm a fitness coach, I help them create the vision of what that looks like for them.
So each individual.
Yes.
Right. So what is your background? Where are you from? Are you from the LA area? Because I know you said you're, living in Torrance right now, but tell me your background.
I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, the city of Los Angeles.
Not very many people can say that.
I know. I am a native of Los Angeles. My mother and my grandmother, my mother was really, really a fitness enthusiast. She was always at the gym, always working out. My grandmother, she was a holistic enthusiast. So she believed in natural healing, herbs, all that stuff. And so though that conjoined, I just was raised more so on the holistic side of things.
This is so funny because my last podcast was just about, isn't it great that we can talk about, and it needs to be more, how family and family members, our grandfathers and mothers and fathers, all shape us to who we are.
Absolutely.
And we don't talk about that enough, because when they don't get that, they seem to not do very well in society. Right.
Yes.
So to me, you're bleeding everything that, has come from your family. And that's really key. I love that. Cause I'm a dancer. I don't know if you know too much about me, but I had my own dance studio for 28 years. And then before that, my mom had a dance studio. So I took what she did, and, I always admired her and I wanted to be just like her. And that's what I'm hearing from you too, because, and then being in the holistic side in our world, most, that doesn't happen too often. So I just love that, because it is about, the natural way to do things as much as possible and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, so they were that, and then it got you excited because it made you want to be in fitness and take care of yourself. Right.
So when I was 16 years old, I had this epiphany, I want to be a fitness instructor. My mom took step aerobics. She took high intensity cardio classes.
I love this. This
really,
is
really fit.
This is so
and then
funny.
She kept me in dance classes too. So I was in gymnastics, I was in ballet, I was in tap and jazz.
You can tap. We got to tap together.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it anymore.
Okay, it's okay. Shovel ball change. I know you know. You know a shovel ball change, right?
But I know what kickball change is. Yes.
Oh, kickball change. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yes. So, but yeah, she kept me in that. So fast forward to once I turned 18, out of the household, my mom was always instilling in my brother and I to find a trade, so that if the world ever shuts down, we have something to fall back on instead of relying on corporate America to continue to live paycheck to paycheck. So I kind of went around. She required that I get my cosmetology license. I didn't have a love for it at all, but I listened. And I said, okay. So now I grew up doing her hair, doing my hair, doing her friend's hair. But once I got into the salon, it just wasn't the love. I didn't feel the connection to doing hair in the salon. So I said, what sets my soul on fire? So I said, I want to get into a field that's going to be very lucrative. So I got my real estate license, and I absolutely loved real estate. I became an investor. I started off as a processor, underwriter, and then once I got my license, I started to invest out of the state. I had a good friend who was a broker. So learned about the real estate, stayed in the game for about 15 years.
Wow.
And
so from cosmetology, you went to cosmetology school to then real estate school.
The trade that my mom said, learn so that you can have something under your belt.
Right.
The other trade was real estate. Yeah.
But it also inspired you, even though she was kind of guiding you where you maybe didn't want to go, it still instilled in you to go to school or do something to, better yourself. It's about bettering ourselves when she was doing that, right? It wasn't necessarily about, you better do this, it was just more about instilling something that will, get you to go to school and get something out of it versus not going there. So that I feel is what was out of there. And then you got the real estate license. So
so when I was 18, my mom was like, I've done my job, you gotta go. So you had to go figure it out. And this was me figuring it out. I was like, I went to school to try to go to law school. I said, this is not for me. I need right now money. I don't want to be in the books for like all this time. I had adult ADD. I think that's what I believe, but wasn't diagnosed.
Right.
So then that's when I was filling out my, what's for me. Real estate was it. And it was just like my nest egg for about 15 years. And I got married. Not married to my first child's father, but my first child is 21. I have 3 children.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you.
We actually lived together for a few years and had my first daughter, Shia. She's 21. She lives in Atlanta and she goes to Spelman. And she's working out, her college, trying to figure out her life, but she's still in her studies, business management. We created her business when she was 13. She has a baking business.
Wow.
So
entrepreneur.
Then about 6 years after I had her, I got married and had 2 more kids. So I just started having kids. Then the real estate market took a, dip, back in 2008. And I didn't like that feeling. You ran into a lot of short sale negotiations with my properties.
That was horrible.
The banks were like bullying us at the time. And, I ended up
remember
losing
that
like
time.
4 properties because I was investing.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you know what? I don't know. I have to find something else. So I started working again, corporate America, and just working to just make sure that I fed my children.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, I'm allergic to bosses. I don't like corporate bosses. So I need to figure out what sets my soul on fire. I hired a business coach and they were like, well, what do you love to do? Like,
wait, I got to ask you about that. Like,
yes,
you hired a business coach, so some people like, oh, why would you, like, what is that going to do for, what made you want to do that? Because that's so inspiring to me.
The thing that made, because I wanted change. I wanted change and I knew I couldn't do it by myself.
Okay.
So my uncle, who is, he's one of my mentors.
Okay.
He was like, you might want to get a business coach and kind of help you like channel in what you love to do and what's going to also create revenue.
This is interesting. I think people out there would love to hear about this, that ageless ambitions of figuring it out. Like doesn't, you did so many great things, real estate 15 years, cosmetology, but to get somebody else to guide you is such an inspiration to let people understand that they can do that too if they don't know where to go or changing their, ways of doing one thing and wanting to pivot. It's okay to think about getting help and getting somebody that is a professional at that, like a business coach. That's so cool.
Absolutely. And, invested in yourself. I learned, business through network marketing. And I did a lot of personal development, which helped me, develop my brand, it started out as Good Zen Consulting, was a mindset coaching program that I offered. Because everything was Zen for me. It was about inner peace. It's about tapping into your inner child. I realized a lot of women, single moms in particular, lost in their children, lost in what path to go, got a divorce, didn't know which way to go. So I said, I'm living testimony of how this works. went through a tumultuous divorce after my third child, and was left to pay the bills, left to do it all. And so I was like, you know what?
We're so strong.
I had to crawl out of this space. Thank you. And use my story as a stronghold for other women who felt like they didn't have a voice, because I was determined to not just get caught in the dark. So once I crawled out of that space, I wrote a book for single moms, The Single Mom's Survival Guide, Moving On with Life.
Where can you get that? Can you get it still?
You can get it on Amazon. Yes, it's on Amazon.
We're going to put that up there. That's good.
That's my first book. And I just wanted to tell my personal testimony, my story, how I got out of this space. Once you're getting a divorce, or, you know, whatever that loss is, but you're raising kids by yourself, then there's the steps to take financially, how to be prepared. And that's what we're
at that event, right? Single Moms Planet. That's where we met.
Yes, we met at Single Moms Planet. And yes, Nefertiri Plessy is one of my business coaches.
Okay, there you go. Okay, cool. I love that. So I mean, mindset, networking and stuff makes a big difference too.
Networking, right? So the mindset coaching at first was my space, but then once I hired on the business coach, that's when they were like, what's going to drive the revenue for what you love to do? What do you love to do? I said, I love to work out. They were like, well, why don't you entertain that? So I created Zen Fit with Coach East.
And that's on Instagram, right?
Yes, that's on Instagram.
Okay.
Get Zen Fit on Instagram. And I got certified as a personal trainer. I am now a instructor, like I wanted to be when I was 16. So I teach hip hop step aerobics.
I used to do all this. I was with AFAA, right?
Oh, yes.
And IDEA. And I actually toured with IDEA with my class, which was called cardio choreography. So this is way back in the day, like seriously. So I get it. And I mean, this is inspiring. That's why I think we connected, because I think you're doing everything that I was doing, but I wanted more than that, even in terms of just bringing the dance world in. So that's when I owned my own dance studio. But this is so cool, because fitness and the way that you can present it and use that as a tool to, be an entrepreneur and have your teaching the step classes. I saw you on that Instagram, just right, left, back and forth. I'm like, oh God. Okay. And I mean, I'm a dancer and sometimes I can't even keep up with that. So it is an inspiring
workout for sure.
But it is something to look, like to get better at. Right. So that makes you not just think about the workout, but you want to complete how they do all the moves. So that takes you to another level, right? Because then it's not boring in a sense, right?
No, it makes fitness fun. And that's what I wanted to do. Like, how can I make fitness fun? And I was raised raised around that era where the hip hop step was like the thing to do, and then it went away. Right. And then it came back. So now I'm a master trainer for Extreme Hip Hop brand. I oversee 80 instructors in the Southern California area. I certify them to get their Extreme Hip Hop certification to teach. So love that. And then I still have my brand. How can people find out about that? Actually, for Extreme Hip Hop, you can go on to www.extremehiphopwithphil.com. Okay. I'm on there as one of the master trainers that oversees the Southern California area.
Wow. Yeah.
So I have classes. I teach.
You're inspirational all around, seriously, because
everything fitness and wellness for me, fitness and wellness is therapeutic. It's mindful, right? For me. It helped me get out of a dark space. So I'm very passionate about it. It creates happy juice. It makes me happy, even though life, fitness is it, right? And so I actually, in 2021, I created a vision board where I wanted to get my yoga certification. Why yoga? Between fitness and yoga? Well, I felt like connecting mindfulness to fitness is something that's missing. Because we have all these fit people, they got muscles, they got abs, but they can't stretch. They don't stretch. Right. They can't move their bodies in that manner. So connecting the two for me was more like of a Zen energy, of a mindful energy on moving your body one way, but also healing your body another way.
Believing Before Seeing, a new book by Candace Barr. teaching you how to believe into existence. Available now for pre-order.
And stretching is so important.
Yes.
I'm a dancer, so if I don't stretch, it's over. You know,
Yes.
I just want you to know, like I'm older, like I'm in my 60s, like going on to
And
the
you look amazing.
65 this year. And so,
Wow.
yeah, I'll be 65 in December. But with
Okay.
that said, you know, my body doesn't do well if I don't stretch.
Right.
Right. And so I mean, being a teacher and then starting class, I could just usually start class and do it. But now I have to almost take 45 minutes before I start teaching to set my body up, you know?
Yeah.
And it changes everything. It
It
even
does.
helps your mindset because you're like, oh my God, I feel so good. Versus like, you know, you just do it and then afterwards you're hurt because you didn't stretch. So that brings you down, right? So stretching is so important. I know that you know, you're doing all these things. I'm just so intrigued by you. But you have this retreat too. And I wanted to go through that because didn't you just do a retreat? And what's
I
that
did
all
a
about?
retreat. So this was my third annual Single Moms Day retreat brunch.
Okay.
And so each year I have a theme. The first year was sundresses and swimsuits. I had an exclusive home with an amazing backyard. Coming out of COVID, I had 20 moms show up and we, you know, had brunch. I had a chef come out. We went from, you know, empowering, speaking, talks in their sundresses, taking pictures, drinking champagne, to them taking off their dresses in their swimsuit and jumping in the pool. Like it was so much fun. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to create this luxury premium experience for single moms to make sure that it's okay to invest in yourself and to have a good time.
It's okay to want that.
Yes,
Want
absolutely.
that, like the best of the best, right? Because when you do have children, which I don't, but I know I mean I have 2 dogs, and it just takes away a lot of time, and you forget about yourself,
Absolutely.
right? And so it just it makes you lose who you are as a woman, and so you know doing these things. So your first year was that. What was your second year like?
The second year was sunsets and sundresses. So we had, I don't know if you're familiar with Orange County, but there's a place called Pelican Hill. And I took them, it was about 15 moms then. That was last year to Pelican Hill. We ate over the sea and over the pool of one of the Pelican Hill resorts there. And then we took it in carpool to the beach, Crystal Cove. And we sat at Crystal Cove. I have like he's like a steel drummist.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was amazing. And so the community around the beach, we like literally sat around the beach in our sundresses. Okay, they came around and they were like, oh my goodness, we want to hire him. But I just wanted to let them know that take some time for you and be okay with if it's 3 hours. Be okay if it's overnight, but take that day and reset for yourself so your cup could be full enough to still feed into your children and do what you do outside of your children. So this year it was wine and waist beads. So that's what you saw.
Wine and waistbands.
What wine and waist beads. The waist beads.
Oh, the waist beads. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have one of my tribe members, I call her. She's also mentors me in the breath space. So she does pranayama yoga, where it's a lot of breathing techniques. Deep breathing techniques. And she actually created her own business out of mindful waist beads. So she sets the intention to, you know, place these beads around you, whether it's weight loss, whether it's self-love, whether it's, you know, high sexual energy, whatever that is. She has a bead for whatever energy you want to channel.
I want some of those beads.
And she's lovely. She in Canoga Park. She has a private studio.
Okay.
So I did a private brunch with about 10 ladies, and they needed that. So, you know, some were healing from illnesses. You know, they're single moms, and they just, you know, kind of like a lot of people are actually hide. They hide, you know, a lot of what they're going on. They suffer in silence, what we say. And so in that, they were able to release.
And that causes like mental health issues, right? When you hold it in,
yes. Because we'll lose it whether we're without kids or with kids. If we don't channel in healing within, healing our inner child and listening to who that is, what she's saying to us, we wouldn't be able to like really heal fully. And so that's what it's about.
And that's a lot of problems in our society today, is
Yes,
that
absolutely.
mental illness issue, because people do hold it in, or they can't express themselves, you know, and that's why there's some of these hotlines are coming out now, but it's almost too late because so many people have
Yeah,
issues,
I know.
right?
Especially after the pandemic, you know.
Yeah, after the pandemic, but even before that, because people, you know, like we talked about at the very beginning of us coming on, is, you know, family, and a lot of families are not connected with your children or connected as a family unit anymore. You know, it's just really disconnected a lot. So that's where a lot of problems happen. But knowing that these kind of things can be in front of us, and we can get better knowing and educating through something that we're doing today, which is coming on this show. I can't wait for people to hear more about it. So thank you so much. Is there anything else, Ayesha, that you could let our audience know about? Anything that you know, want to give them a tip, or just inspire them? And
absolutely, there is a
let me
tip.
know.
In addition to, of course, everything wellness is Ayesha. That's who I am. And so proper supplementation is everything. What we put into our bodies is what comes out of our hair, skin, and nails. I understand you are all things beauty over there with your skincare products. And I actually have a supplement that actually helps fuel healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy nails. And it's called Butonic. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, there it is. Put it there.
Butonic.
Okay.
Yes. So it is.
Get that out there. Let us see it. Yeah, we want to see you.
It's a multivitamin that you drink.
Okay.
And it has 76 vitamins and minerals, 12 amino acids, 56 superfood extracts, and it's plant-based. It also has collagen peptides in it. So I love it. It tastes like tropical punch. I have to get you some samples because it's absolutely amazing. And they also have the men form of it. It's called
Put it closer. Put it closer.
Gin
Okay.
Tonic.
Okay.
And so it's from the Hairfinity line, and I am an ambassador for it. And like, you know, I teach my women, 67% of women are sedentary and do not properly fuel their body. Right.
I think it's 99% of people in our world. Let's just be real.
Oh my goodness. And so that leads to us being the #1 in heart disease. And that's what we die from as women.
I mean, that's our whole world. It's like you walk around and you just see people and they're so unhealthy. And you're just like, how can you just like walk? Like, you gotta take care.
So my advice is make sure that you know what you're putting into your bodies, be conscious of it, of what you can control.
Yep. And I'm going to get some of that. And I, even with my crew, Chris and Nick, like I do little snacks up there for them when they come, but it's always something that's halfway deep. Like it has to be good. It has to be organic. It has to be, you know, something that's good for you. Right. So we have to just keep really understanding that that's our whole self, is being able to take care of ourselves and feeding and fueling our bodies, which then makes us be able to not have problems when we get older. Take care of yourself now, and you won't have those issues when you get older, right? That's the key to that right now. I love it.
Yes. So that's what I want everyone to take away, is make sure you're fueling your body with the good stuff.
And then working out and doing that and move. There you go. Exactly. Movement is medicine. That's it. Movement is medicine, everybody. So Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. I'm so thankful for Ayesha to be here today, and I wish you all a good day and come back again soon.